In decentralized finance, generating millions in profit means nothing if that capital is locked completely out of reach. By early 2026, the Sky Protocol, formerly known as MakerDAO, had amassed a staggering scale. The multi-layered credit and savings architecture held over $13 billion in total value locked. First quarter 2026 financial metrics showed gross revenue reaching a record $123.79 million, driving a net surplus of $46.04 million. Yet, following these strong earnings, Sky's governance token dropped 2.4%, stalling in a depressed range of 5 to 8 cents. Market participants frequently model DeFi governance tokens as automated dividend-yielding assets. They expect that when a protocol earns money, a hard-coded smart contract will immediately distribute a share of those profits to token holders. Why did the Sky token completely decouple from the protocol's explosive financial success? The answer requires tracking the exact mechanics of how United States Treasury yields are integrated into on-chain architecture. To understand the token's collapse, we have to track how protocol governance deliberately intercepted revenues to appease traditional credit rating agencies. Real-world assets, or RWAs, operate as the dominant financial engine for the Sky Protocol. In early 2026, they generated between 60 and 70% of the protocol's total revenue. This revenue stream is backed by several $billion in short-duration tokenized U.S. Treasury bills. Operating within the broader macroeconomic interest rate environment, these T-bills generate a highly predictable yield near the prevailing front-end rate of 4.5%. This diagram illustrates the initial capital flow. Institutional and retail deposits of the USDS stablecoin enter the protocol, are converted by allocators like Monetalis and BlockTower into tokenized T-bills, and output a continuous 4.5% yield back to the system. That generated yield is then divided. A large portion is routed back to the end users through the Sky savings rate, set at 3.6% in late May 2026, and paid into an accumulating SUSDS vault. SUSDS is a non-rebasing receipt token. A deterministic accumulator variable ensures that while a depositor's token balance remains numerically constant, its redemption value in USDS increases continuously over time. Ultimately, Sky captures the net interest margin. This is the 0.9% spread between the 4.5% T-bill yield and the 3.6% paid out to depositors. That remaining spread routes directly into a central protocol treasury known as the surplus buffer. Here it combines with legacy stability fees and barrow spreads from the Spark sub-protocol. This exact yield spread created the record $46 million first quarter surplus, currently sitting in the central vault. That massive stockpile set the stage for a critical battle over who actually owns the capital. This table compares the theoretical direct revenue sharing model against Sky's actual financial structure. While many protocols use immutable code to automatically route fees directly to token stakers, Sky operates under a system of discretionary buybacks. The Sky token has absolutely no automated, code-enforced right to the funds gathering in the surplus buffer. Any transfer of funds from the central treasury to open market Sky buybacks must be proposed, debated, and approved through manual executive votes. Institutional entities like the Stablecoin Development Corporation successfully generate millions in staking revenue, but this relies entirely on the current governance policy remaining favorable. This discretionary model creates key person risk. Consistently low voter turnout gives a highly concentrated group of delegates de facto control over the protocol's cash flows. This concentration leaves governance subject to political capture, demonstrated in February 2025, when a hostile entity attempted to take control of the DAO and alter its strategic roadmap. For investors, Sky is not an automated crypto asset. It functions as discretionary equity managed by a centralized board, meaning the token's value is entirely dependent on the capital allocation choices of its governance. The direct catalyst for the token's collapse was the intervention of traditional rating agencies, specifically an August 2025 assessment from S&P Global. S&P assigned the Sky protocol a credit rating of B-, labeling its stablecoin PEG stability as constrained. The primary vulnerability cited by S&P was weak capitalization. The protocol operated with a highly dangerous risk-adjusted capital ratio of just 0.4%. This low score was driven by the underlying collateral. While Treasury bills carry a safe 3% risk weighting, Sky also holds complex synthetic assets like Athena's USD, which S&P assigns an extreme 1,250% risk weighting due to the vulnerabilities of its delta-neutral hedging strategies. To avoid a permanent junk rating and protect the stablecoin peg against macroeconomic shocks, governance executed a historic capital restructuring in March 2026. To build capital, they intentionally slashed the daily Sky buyback budget by 87%. They dropped it from $300,000 to just $37,600 per day. That is where the record first quarter surplus went. 92.5% of the protocol's profits were forcibly redirected away from token holders to build a massive capital backstop. This sudden starvation of open market buying pressure immediately suppressed the token's performance. The protocol was generating record revenues, but none of it was reaching the investors. Sky governance deliberately sacrificed short-term token holder value to guarantee the institutional survival and creditworthiness of the broader protocol. If this new solvency reserve fails to absorb a catastrophic market shock, token holders face a grim reality. The protocol utilizes an automated debt auction mechanism. If Sky sustains massive credit losses, new Sky tokens are immediately minted and sold on the open market to recapitalize the system. This creates a stark asymmetry for investors. Token holders absorb infinite downside dilution during a crisis, while governance caps their upside during times of record profit. This diagram illustrates the recovery roadmap. The current token depression is tied to specific, temporary capital triggers set during the March restructuring. Once the solvency reserve hits its first trigger of $125 million, the protocol is programmed to scale open market buybacks back up to 25% of the surplus. Hitting the maximum target of $150 million restores aggressive market repurchases and staking distributions. The Sky token is currently paused in a strict capital preservation phase. Its value is a wager on institutional discipline, waiting for the protocol's balance sheet to fortify enough to finally relink record revenues back to open market token demand.